This week, You Should Be Watching is all about American Horror Story. We talk about news of a spin-off show that's in the works, we also talk about how Season 10's theme might change, and we tell you what are the best shows to watch if you love AHS. That's all this week on You Should Be Watching. Hello and welcome to a new episode of You Should Be Watching. I'm back with my crew. I've got Ryan and Greg here. Hey guys, how you doing?
Hello.
Doing well.
How's it going?
Doing well. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. Like I was saying on Slack, we talk on Slack all the time, but we're like, this is a really good excuse to hang out with each other once a week, so I'm really glad that we do this.
Yes.
For sure, yeah.
If you're new to checking out this show and you clicked in because you saw American Horror Story, we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but this is our weekly podcast where we recommend shows for you to watch based on what we're watching outside of what we work on. So Ryan and Greg, of course, you know from American Horror Story breakdowns. I'm going to ask them what I ask every week. What are you guys watching right now? Ryan?
I'm watching The Last Dance on
Me
ESPN.
too.
Same.
Documentary series, obviously about Michael Jordan. It's just so well done, and it features a ton of footage from his final season with the Bulls that has been like never before seen, and obviously amazing interviews with people with Jordan himself, and then everyone around the entire the league and in the history of NBA. So a really good glimpse into what motivates him as a player, as a person. How polarizing he was at times, but I just so hard to it's so hard to put his whole story into like a big documentary, but ESPN Films does a great job with this, and I actually it's only 10 episodes, and I wish it was like 20 episodes. Like I could do this for the rest of the year.
I could
just
watch
give
this
us
for a whole year.
There'll be more. They'll make more of this somehow.
It should one day of the week should just be Michael Jordan night where we just because there's no other sports going on right now, so it's like it's kind of must see, and it's pretty incredible. Like they only have, like I said, 10 episodes. I wish it was more. There's not enough that I could watch on this subject. So.
Yeah, the timing on this is perfect because, like you said, there's no new sports to watch and everyone's kind of watching old games on ESPN. And honestly, when I got the Disney Plus ESPN Hulu bundle, I thought I wouldn't use the ESPN part. And I was like, okay, I got free ESPN for somebody. But
live TV, but live TV is not happening right now.
I didn't think that I was going to use it, but I am using it for this documentary and I'm just hooked. And I remember vividly watching the NBA in the 90s when I was a kid, and that's when I was the most into basketball. I would watch with my dad, and I was very into all the drama and all like the players and like the dream team. It was such a moment in basketball history that was just, you'll never forget it. And Michael Jordan is one of the greatest athletes of all time, and you can see why through this documentary. And we know him from being the best and like his shoe line and everything and Space Jam, but there are a lot of things that we didn't know about him. I'm learning so much about his life, and also about the Chicago Bulls and just them as a team, and they were just such a force to be reckoned with. But yeah, this is kind of like off topic for us for a bit, but I just feel like we should talk about it and recommend it because it's just such a part of pop culture, and it's just like you're learning so much about this thing that was so important to so many people in the 90s. I feel like that's why it's a must watch.
At the same time, I was watching it, and my partner came in the room, and they wanted to know what the hell was going on. So we sat down, watched it together, I think the third episode, and just so many questions came. Okay, but what about this person? Why are they so mad at this person? And I was like, okay, you know what? Let's just start at the beginning, and we did that. We just started from the top again. It's so worth it to just start from the beginning. Just the context to go on with these characters is so great. At the same time, we're talking about sequels. I want to know what happened to Jordan and the one year he went to go play baseball. That's what I want to know. I want to know the true story. I want to know.
I really glazed over that last night.
But I don't think we're going to get that story, but I hope to see it someday.
That's funny you say that. It's funny you say that, Greg, because my wife did the same thing. Like I turned it on, and as soon as someone like the dramatic moments happened, and like so and so didn't like him, and Isaiah Thomas didn't want to get on the dream team, she was like so fascinated by this stuff because remember back then there wasn't Twitter, there wasn't all this TMZ Sports, there wasn't all that stuff. It was you'd have to read books or follow journalists in sports in order to really know the true story. And now when the kind of curtains were pulled back and you get to know the full story, and all these people, like you guys said, there's no sports going on. Everyone is just watching this. It's really awesome to just kind of catch up. And I think also it serves, it's kind of a reminder to like some of the younger generations who grew up on, say, Lakers, Warriors. Now they're like, oh, wait, this guy is the greatest ever. This guy is, he was so badass, and he's just wired differently than anyone that we've ever seen in the game. So, like you said, Chastity, even if you're not a sports fan, I think that you can enjoy it, find entertainment and value in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, highly recommend that. What else are you watching?
I'm also watching, I just started Dave on FX on Hulu.
I heard good things about that.
Little Dicky.
I heard. Yeah, Little Dicky. It's the show about Little Dicky.
I can't tell.
I heard over and over again good things about this. My best friend texted me and said, "Look, I know you don't like Little Dicky, but this show is amazing. You got to watch it." So I'm gonna give it a shot too. But how is it?
Yeah.
What is the premise? Can you tell me a little bit more? Because I've only seen ads and I don't know what this show is about.
So Dave, aka Little Dicky, basically he's trying to get his rap career off the ground. I wouldn't consider myself like a huge Lil Dicky fan either, but like I've heard some of the songs. He's funny, a satirical rapper, like a funny guy, you know. But it just really, I'm only 2 episodes in, I'll say that. But I've heard so much that it's so great, and it's already picked up, I think, for a 2nd season as well. And I heard that it ends really strong as well. So I was like, I'm going to give it a shot. Like, it's a 30-minute show. It's really easy to watch. It's just kind of him, like the ins and outs of trying to like get a rap career, going from like nothing to some big rapper. He kind of like comes from a different like part of town. He's kind of like awkward and weird, and you know, he doesn't really fit into like the whole like rap aesthetic, but it's pretty funny so far, and just 2 episodes in. So I'm digging it. I'm gonna power through it. I like the 30-minute episodes, you know, when we don't have to invest so much time into things, and kind of just
digestible.
Just get it, watch it, and kind of go through it, and it's a good one. I think you definitely should check it out.
Yeah, definitely putting that on the list. Greg, what are you watching?
Okay, well, I'll be honest. I'm still watching Sopranos, and I'm going through that with my partner at the time.
I mean, that's a long rewatch.
Yes. Yeah. But at the same time, I am watching Mrs. America with Cate Blanchett.
With Cate Blanchett?
Yes. Great cast from top to bottom. Even Sarah Paulson's there, just popping in every once in a while. It's so good.
What is that one about?
Okay, so it's about the ERA, the Equal Rights Amendment. In the 70s, the culture war that took place during that time period. It's mirroring a lot of what's happening now, of course, every single day. But without going into context or whether everything else is happening on this show, I got to be honest with everyone. I'm playing Animal Crossing.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Finally.
I hate that I have to go from this great show I hate that I have to go from this great show Miss America about ERA. Oh, by the way, I'm playing Animal Crossing, but this is where we're at now in 2020.
Real talk.
I'm going to be honest.
Animal Crossing. Real talk.
You could do both. We could watch the show while you're like fishing and picking fruit and stuff. Well, I mean, you have to hear. Never mind. But you can play Animal Crossing any time of day.
It's good to have a well-balanced life.
Way
it's
too
fine.
much
It's
time.
fine. Yeah, definitely you should do it.
Just
I've
be
put way
real.
too much time in Animal Crossing. I'm very excited that you're playing. Are you loving it? And is it your partner started playing, or did you start playing first?
Okay, my partner started playing, and she was in love with the game so much that I was like, okay, fine, let me see what's going on here. What's the whole thing about? You build an island, and then from there on out, we're now going back and forth talking about turnip prices. So we're in. We're here for the long haul now. I'm not going anywhere. I'm loving this game. I'm going to be honest. I'm incredibly. No, I'll just stop there.
I'm glad the game won you over.
Thank you. Let's just say that again. I'm glad, Greg. I'm won over by this game. That's all.
Good, yeah. We're all hooked in, and like so many celebrities are randomly playing now and showing up to people's islands for turnip prices. So yeah, it's a very widespread game right now. It's crazy. Even AOC's playing, and Brie Larson's playing, and
I remember
Danny
when
Trejo's playing.
I remember when Pokemon Go took off. Do you remember when I was in Florida at the time, and the police were showing up trying to figure out why the hell are we all waiting at corners at the time, and then we got them involved in the game too. They were started playing with us because it was that insane at the moment. It was a phenomenon, and it looks like it's the same thing, like you said, with AOC, Danny Trejo, Elijah Wood.
Yeah,
it seems like it's taken off.
Yep, for sure. I am also playing a ton of Animal Crossing. That's taking up a lot of my time. And yeah, watching The Last Dance, but I'm also still watching Community. And I'm really excited that they're doing a cast reunion coming up on the 19th. And they're doing a table read. So it's not like the Parks and Rec reunion, but they're doing for charity. I believe they're doing a table read of one of the older episodes, and the only cast member not returning is Chevy Chase. But the rest of them are doing this table read, and
That's
that
awesome.
makes me very excited that like even Donald Glover is in, and everyone keeps talking about like Joel McHale and like Dan Harmon. Like, yeah, I feel good about a movie. I think a movie's gonna happen. So I really hope that this leads to the movie finally happening, like them working together again and feeling the magic again, and hopefully we finally get that movie.
Actually, I hate
That's
all
I
of you.
want.
We're not doing this.
No, please. Oh, Community's so good. All right, now on to This Just In, and get ready, AHS fans, because now we're going to be talking about AHS the entire rest of the show.
Hell yeah.
So the first story for our top news stories of the week is an American Horror Story spin-off show is in the works. So Ryan Murphy announced that the spin-off is called American Horror Stories. That's plural. And the series will consist of 1 hour-long self-contained episodes and will likely feature familiar players from the main show. There's not a lot of details to work on at this moment. What do you guys think about this announcement or pseudo-announcement?
I think it's awesome, to expand that universe
Very
that
happy.
already has a lot of connections, but to, kind of maybe some of the lesser perimeter characters to kind of get some backstory maybe on them. We always get flashbacks, flash forwards with a lot of these seasons to kind of see what these characters, maybe some of their origins or what they were doing and how it kind of connects to a larger thing. I mean, it's kind of similar, it feels like, to The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, just kind of expanding, on a universe that has such a really strong following. So I'm all in. I'm happy about it. I think it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I don't think this show, though, is going to be just like Fear the Walking Dead, because I think they're going to put this one towards more of a like Twilight Zone, Black Mirror kind of vibe.
Right.
Black Mirror
right,
type
yeah.
of thing.
Yeah, and so that I'm even happier with that than just going off on one whole one character, like if the Countess and giving her own show. I'm glad they're just giving them one episode, 1 hour, and then we're in and out. So you want to know anything about a certain character that you may not have, they were wondering, hey, I want to check in on Jimmy Darling. Let's do it. 1 hour. I love that.
Yeah. So do you think this is the connection with Rubberman, that Instagram post that he had posted about Rubberman coming soon? Like, do you think this is
I think that was
part
season
of the
10.
spin-off or for season 10?
Yeah, that kind of confused me because initially I think Greg and we both thought it was maybe like a hint towards season 10, and then we were like kind of overreacting to that Instagram post and thinking that he was going to throw that into because Ryan Murphy always loves teasing like things, for the upcoming seasons, but that really makes sense to include in a kind of standalone episode, right?
An
When you
origin
talk about,
story.
an origin story of, I had a list here.
Well, we
of,
got
like,
that. We kind of got that Murder House, didn't we?
We kind of got an
story
origin.
for
Right,
Rubberman.
right, or even not an origin story, maybe just like other horrific things that he did in the Rubberman suit, or whatever it might be. But Greg, they might do one all on Twisty the Clown, and then I know you're not watching that one, but
We'll find someone else to break that one down with you. No worries. I guarantee you. We'll do a fan. We'll reach out to the comment section. We'll find someone who loves Twisty the Clown. We'll put him on there with you. It's okay.
So
Yeah.
if this does take the pattern of spin-off standalones for existing characters, who would you want to see the most?
Madison and Behold. That's the
Madison,
first thing I said
yes.
after the crossover episode on Apocalypse, the best episode. The two
Return to
characters.
Murder House?
Yes, Return to Murder House.
They were great.
The
They
two
were
standouts.
great.
I guarantee you there's something in the works down the line. There has to be. The two standouts from that entire episode are Madison and look, the chemistry between Billy Porter and Emma Roberts is amazing. They got to give them their own show. So I would love to see
that.
them just give us a tease in one of these hour-long episodes and then still give them their own spinoff. They can do whatever the hell they want. I love them.
yeah,
I love that. I think
that's a
that'd be
great
super
call.
fun.
I think.
What about you, Ryan?
I think they said specifically they're going to be standalone ghost stories, from what I read. So I'm thinking, there's a handful of people you can pick from the Murder House alone. Tate Langdon, what he's been up to over the years. Constance Langdon, kind of what she had to deal with. We got kind of little like vignettes of what she dealt with Michael Langdon, and then but I think maybe like an Edward Mordrake, who we've been introduced to in Freak Show, and kind of whole origin of his the whole origin of his life was pretty incredible and creepy. So maybe him going around and haunting a bunch of people throughout the years over time would be cool. the Angel of Death in Asylum.
Skaha,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
That would be really cool to kind of see her kind of popping into other times in history and kind of taking
That's
people.
That's a good one, yeah.
The Butcher would also be another good one. And I think you mentioned earlier the Countess. Obviously, if you got Gaga in for an hour episode, that'd be really dope.
How about Richard
It'd
Ramirez?
probably be easier to
the
book
two
her.
Richard Ramirez's meet. The one from Hotel.
Oh,
and
God.
the one from 1984.
Oh my goodness.
The plot hole.
The plot hole is fixed. Once and
Please,
for
Ryan,
all.
fix the plot hole, Ryan Murphy, please.
What's cool about this
All
show,
right,
there
well,
aren't that many plot holes, so they're fine.
Yeah, it's fine. They can work around it. That leads us to a connecting news story. This is following the news that Ryan Murphy says that American Horror Story Season 10, it had a weather-dependent theme, and that theme could change because it's so dependent on the weather. So we might be getting a different theme for Season 10 than was initially planned, is basically the gist of it. So Ryan Murphy told The Wrap that his original idea for the coming installment for Season 10 had to be filmed during the warmer months. So that's like a big clue. It's still kind of vague. And then he said, I don't know, a lot of what I was going to shoot was dependent on a very specific moment. It was a weather dependent show. So no, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do next with that show. I don't know if we're going to accelerate another season or wait till next year to shoot this one. So he's got a very specific vision in mind. Any ideas, any theories? What do you guys think?
Well, they said production they're gonna try again this in September. If they did, then the theme would have to change. I would not be shocked if this new American Horror Stories may take the place, if they start shooting, let's say season 10, the end of this year, the fall, they have it out in the spring, and then what they were going to shoot for, season 11 AHS, which isn't going to happen now, it's going to be pushed back. Maybe they just replace that with stories. So they have early in the season, we're going to have AHS season 10. Later in the fall for Halloween, we're actually going to have American Horror Stories. I don't know. That seems like that might be the plan, but who knows?
Yeah. That seems plausible, and I don't know, I feel like everyone's free. Everyone's still like just waiting to be in the show. Like I don't know if there's going to be scheduling conflicts, but there still could be. But I think, stories would be a good way around it.
It's going to be tough to keep these actors around. So I would love to see how they can pick this back up, and I hope they don't lose any of the cast along the way.
Yeah, and I think Ryan Murphy mentioned in his Instagram post that that he had like a Zoom call with everyone, right? He talked to everyone, and they're all like really hyped about kind of getting the gang back together, and for those that are kind of sat out the last season. So it's just a bummer, obviously, with all the COVID-19 stuff, that it kind of just derailed all the plans, because I feel like the show got quite a bit of momentum after last year, and kind of whenever he teases like a next upcoming season, people get really back into it. And like I said, the people that took breaks are kind of like fresh and ready for like another season of the show. And it was weird because like the teaser, the first one we saw, like was more like at a beach, right? And it kind of had maybe like northeast coast vibes, ocean, kind of. Yeah, it kind of seemed like more of the northeast coast, like during that type of vibe. But it's kind of weird that it was weather dependent on like a summer month to shoot it. So I don't really know exactly. I mean, there's so many ideas out there of what it could have been about.
It could have been a monster. It could have been
urban
anything.
legends, Loch Ness monsters. Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, it's still up in the air.
I think this show is, of all shows on television right now, I don't think anyone at American Horror Story has to worry about a damn thing. I think they'll be okay. For everyone's health and safety first, and then we can talk about American Horror Story. I think they'll be okay. It's going to be around. It's not going anywhere.
Oh, totally. And if I had a vote on how they should do it, I don't think that they should try to expedite some like really fast, hastily put together season.
Nope, not at all.
For the end of the year. Like just it's fine. A lot of things are getting canceled this year, and it's understandable. Like everyone understands it. It's not don't need to rush anything. Like come up with a good concept, good idea, good theme. I'm sure Ryan Murphy has a handful of ideas that he's kind of in his brain of where he wants the show to go next in the coming seasons. They're extended for 13 seasons, I believe. So, if you can't do that one, like, pick the next one and kind of shuffle the deck, and then also surprise us with some of these, the spin-off series that we would be amped up for. So either way, Greg and I are going to break down whatever happens. We're going to be...
We'll be here. No worries.
We'll be here.
That's what I want to hear. All right, the next segment is You Should Be Watching, and the topic of the week, of course, no surprise, American Horror Story. So these are the shows to watch if you love American Horror Story. So since we're waiting a while for season 10, don't know when it's going to happen, don't know when we're getting more AHS, but we are breaking down more AHS. We have breakdowns for Hotel coming soon, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
Just go back and watch. Just go back and watch old seasons of AHS if you're missing AHS. Basically.
Watch them along with Ryan and Greg, and then watch our breakdowns. But if you want more things to watch in addition to that, here are our top recommendations. So I want to go first and say True Blood is definitely something that you should have on your list, especially if you didn't catch it the first time around when it was very popular back in like 2008, 2009. Ryan, I know you've been watching it too.
Yeah, that was I was really into it when it was airing on TV. What was it? 7 seasons of it, and I stuck with it the entire time. And like, halfway through there, it got a little bit weird and crazy. It kind of jumped the shark, but like I still stuck with it. It was fun. It was ridiculous, over the top, but they did a really good job with it. It was super cool.
So a lot of these things, these descriptions sound very similar to AHS sometimes. So a lot of things you just said, so it's definitely in the same wheelhouse. So if you're not familiar with True Blood, it was an HBO show. You can still watch it on HBO, and it's about Sookie Stackhouse, who is a telepathic waitress, and she falls in love with a vampire. And then this is taking place in like this small town in Louisiana. It's called Bontemps, and vampires are allowed to come out of the coffin because there's a synthetic blood product called True Blood that they can drink. So they're kind of fighting for equal rights, and it's definitely a commentary, but it's also very much a dramatic, soapy, like over-the-top, silly, sexy show, as you probably know from pop culture. But if you've never like dug into it, this is the show that gave us like these sexy vampires, and Alexander Skarsgård became just like very popular off of this, and got so much work after that. And I definitely recommend it. I think it's a lot of fun. And also AHS veteran Dennis O'Hare. Vampire King
Dennis
Russell
O'Hare's
Edgington.
He's awesome. And
really
also
good.
Adina Porter, who's also been in AHS. Adina Porter's in the show as well.
That's right.
But like the whole cast is really, they're all really good. The cast is you can tell that they're enjoying what they're doing on screen. They had a lot of fun with it. And like you said, it kind of like an alternate universe of what would happen if vampires were in society, and how you'd have to deal with those dynamics of different classes of people. Basically, really well done, and it was fun from start to finish. Highly recommend it.
Totally agree. Greg, what do you recommend for people that love AHS?
Well, I'm actually going to go with Penny Dreadful. Start the first run of Penny Dreadful on Showtime if you haven't finished that yet. The first 3 seasons, which are pretty damn good.
So good.
Just off the top of my head, it's a little campy at times, not too campy though. So I got another show if you want that route. We'll talk about that in a minute. But for now, Penny Dreadful, if you want your blood, you want your your horror aspect, and you want your lore, this is the show for that. You're talking about Frankenstein walking around, or Frankenstein's monsters walking around with, who knows, all of a sudden it can be Dorian Gray. And, there's an episode where Josh Hartnett's making out with Dorian Gray. It's AHS. If you're in the AHS, you're going to love this damn show. Agreed. And then for anything else, obviously, for any Brad Fulchick fans out there, come on, Scream Queens. You got to watch Scream Queens. You have to. If you haven't watched Scream Queens, Ryan...
I know, Greg. I know you're going to call me out. I still haven't watched it, but I think I'm going to get into it. And I think, maybe one day you and I will jump over to Scream Queens and do some breakdowns for that. But I've heard great things about that, so this is definitely going to be added to my list.
It's camp, and it's a giant homage to horror. So just watch that if you can. And it takes the, I guess, more Coven side of things. If you're the huge Coven fan base out there, they stand for anything Scream Queens. So just give that a shot if you haven't watched that yet. Yeah,
it's got Emma Roberts. She's great in it. Billy Lord is excellent in it too. It's super fun. It's super fun. I haven't seen all of season 2, so I actually need to finish that show. But yeah, I totally recommend that as well. Ryan, you got anything else on your list?
I would say if you're sticking in the Ryan Murphy universe of stuff that he's made, American Crime Story, similar name, completely different though, but also a more realistic, kind of dramatic take on real life stuff that's happened. The O.J. Simpson one was incredible. Obviously, it's based on a true story, but it's completely dramatized. Just really well done, really good cast. And also an older Ryan Murphy show that I really loved was Nip Tuck, which can get ridiculous at times, dramatic. It's cheesy at times, but also it's high drama, and it's bloody, and there's murders, and it's all that kind of grotesque stuff going on in the plastic surgery scene. And a really good cast. You might recognize some familiar faces. I forgot when this, early 2000s, right, when this came out. So it's been quite some time.
It was in the
a long time.
This
is one of the OG FX shows. I think this is one of the original with the Shield, same time. Around the same time.
I enjoyed it. I watched it when it was going on, when it was live, and I had a lot of fun with it. Obviously, a little crazy at times, but an entertaining watch. Then I would say if you're watching like anthology series shows, I think Black Mirror is always a good one. Although nowadays Black Mirror is it's hard to watch Black Mirror sometimes with...
We're living in it.
Exactly.
We're kind of living in it. And you have to be in the right mood, don't
you? You do.
Like, but if you are, it's a great quality show. But and it is a good anthology series. But definitely just be wary that it's very bleak.
Maybe watch like San Junipero and only San Junipero, and then just like listen to like some turn on some good music and just relax. I don't know. Just
that's
stay
not
positive.
The show. That's not the show. That's like Gautier. Listen to something that I used to know. I know that's such a hipster reference. I'm sorry, but it is like the rest of his music. Even he warned everyone that's not how they listen to the album. It's not just like this song, but whatever. Go for it.
Oh man, yeah, agreed. Another show I would recommend is Bates Motel. I don't know if you guys have ever watched the show.
I haven't seen it yet. No.
But it was great. I watched the entire run. I was very into it. I think I did a video or two for Games About Universe about it back when it was finishing up. I think that was a couple years ago. But it's a prequel series to Psycho and the book that's based off of. So it's about Norman Bates and his mother, and it's in a modern day setting though. And you wouldn't think that would work. So when this was announced, everyone that was a fan of Psycho was like groaning, like collectively. We're just like, please no. But then it turned into a really good show because it's not just about Norman. It's not just weighing on the performance of Freddie Highmore, but also of that of Vera Farmiga, who is an incredible actress, and she really does a killer job at showing how this boy became this way with a mother like this. Like, it's just, it's insane. Like, they have a very strange, close relationship, and you really do see the evolution of him from like a seemingly normal, nice kid into something much more disturbing. But it's a slow burn. He doesn't just immediately go from 0 to 60. It takes place over several seasons, and it also it's just very unsettling. It's emotionally devastating, and yeah, like I said, stellar performances from the cast, especially the two leads. And like AHS, it's creepy. It's got weird drama and strong performances, and it's on Netflix. So check it out. Anyone else have any other recommendations?
Man, no, I think you knocked out of the park here because like Ryan Murphy shows.
I would shout out Channel Zero. I only watched like a couple episodes of it, but I know Mike Rougeau, our homie at
he
GSU,
loves it.
He loved it, and it was kind of the creepypasta, different anthology series every year. I think it went like 4 seasons. I checked out a couple episodes of it when we were kind of looking into doing breakdowns for the show. And I think it was kind of just overlooked. Like, not a lot of people kind of held on to it. But I think that if you have time, as we do right now, I think it's on Sci-Fi Channel. And I think a lot of people enjoyed the stories they were telling on Channel Zero. So I would give that a shot if you're into that.
Also, give a shout out to, I guess I'm going to give a shout out to, if you don't have it already, the account for Shudder. Try Shudder.
Right,
they have plenty of options there
Great call.
for you, including Creepshow. There's going to be another season of Creepshow coming out soon, so it's an anthology series as well. Give that one a shot. I can't recommend Shudder enough to people if you're a horror fan and if you love American Horror Story.
Shudder was also doing a kind of like a docu-series. I think it was called Cursed Films.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought your dad was going to be on that or something.
Yeah, you thought my dad.
I'm a little
my dad
too
has
scared
enough
to
stories.
watch it.
But that's pretty cool. If you're a big horror fan, and then to see some of the crazy weird stuff that goes on behind the scenes of a movie that you're a fan of. That's kind of a fun thing to kind of a good change of pace, I guess, when you're into horror, you know.
Watch that if you want to get scared.
Exactly.
All right, that's it for this episode of You Should Be Watching. If you've got any questions, comments, suggestions, or want us to recommend anything in particular in terms of genre or in terms of TV or movies, please reach out to us via email. That's ysbw@gamespot.com. ysbw@gamespot.com. You can also listen to this very podcast on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, and Stitcher. Ryan and Greg, what are you guys working on for everyone to look forward to?
Well, we got the finale of Freak Show, right, Greg?
Mm-hmm. Yep, the finale this week, and then we're working on a what do we want to call this? I think we don't want to just call it a ranking, maybe a power ranking for AHS
power
coming
ranking.
up soon. Yeah. It's a
Every
fun list.
single season of American Horror Story, we rank them. The only official correct ranking
the official
is Greg and Ryan's ranking in the world. If you guys are interested,
The official, unofficial ranking.
Now,
official,
wait, no.
unofficial ranking.
We compiled votes from everyone in
Between us.
Yes, between.
And also, we put those polls
We went
up
online. Yeah, we
in the
put polls
community
out.
tab.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we did. On GSU's community tab, we did a poll. So we put all those together, and we're trying to generate somehow. It's like I feel like America's Next Top Model, that stupid Tyra vote. It's gonna be the Greg and Ryan's power ranking vote. Trust us, it's a great list. You're gonna like it. It's gonna be a lot of commentary from it. I'm excited.
Nice.
I'm excited too. Yeah, I can't wait.
That's very exciting. And I am going to be on Gary Whitta's Animal Talking this week. So if you're watching this, it'll be up tonight. If you are watching it after Wednesday, you can check it out on Gary Whitta's YouTube page. But I'll be there on the show with T-Pain. So if you play Animal Crossing or you like late night shows and you like T-Pain, check it out. That's where I'll be. Follow us on Twitter too. I'm at Chastity_V. Ryan?
I'm at Ryan Eric P. And I'm
Greg.
not hanging out with T-Pain this week, guys. Just FYI, I'm not hanging out with T-Pain. But Chastity
not
is.
That attitude. You haven't asked him. And Greg?
I'm at Greg Spot Thomas, and hit me up for turnip prices on your island. Let me know what they're at, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, sounds great. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Love you.
See you guys.